Here I go, here I go, here I go. Yeah, here I go, here I go, here I go.
Before we get into today's episode of the pod, you guys have to subscribe because I'm looking at you and you're not subscribed to the channel yet. And you have to hit the notification bell because you're not going to know when I post if you don't have notifications when I post. Make sure to like the video, you guys, so I know you guys are enjoying these episodes. Make sure to follow my social medias. I will pop them on the screen so you can stay up to date with everything to do with this podcast. And then don't forget to check out the Spotify version. The link will be in the description for that as well. Finally, I am a sports writer, so make sure to check out the take.sport.blog so you can read the best sports articles ever. You will not regret clicking that link, so make sure to click that link below. But let's go ahead and get into today's pod, you guys.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course. And in today's episode, for the second time, I've got Ethan Watts on the podcast. Last time you guys saw him, he was playing at Boston University. Now he's transferring to Ball State. So that's a pretty big transfer for you. So how did you come to that decision to go to Ball State after you're kind of done 4 years at Boston?
Yeah, so I put my name in the portal like the first day. And honestly, like I was pretty overwhelmed and exhausted. So I took a nap. I wake up to call from Coach Lou at Ball State, and then Coach Lewis called me that night. And honestly, like they just hit me every single day. Like they just were the team that was the most consistent throughout the whole process. And I didn't want to get in the portal and, mess around and take all day to find a situation that was right for me. So kind of locked in on it and just was really happy with the situation, man, and got down there to get a visit. Probably like 3-4 weeks after I talked to them on the phone, and it just felt right. It's home.
So were there other schools looking at you, like while you were in the portal? Like, were you considering any other options prior to Ball State?
I was getting looked at by SIU, Longwood, IPFW, Kent State, a few other schools. Can't think of them right now. But yeah, I was getting recruited by like 6-7 other schools.
What was about Ball State that stood out to you from all those other schools that were trying to recruit you from the portal?
Coach Lewis. And honestly, that entire coaching staff, him being, he played for Bobby Knight. He was second all-time leading, assist rec holder there. As a point guard, there's really nothing that he's not ever experienced. There's nothing that he's not been through. I think he went to two Final Four appearances or something like that. Played in a bunch of March Madness games. So he's just reached the level that we're all trying to be at, and go further than that. So I think it's just the best situation. And then Coach Meeks also coming from IU, Coach Lou, Coach Botch, Coach BC, just really good people. Made me feel like I was at home. And then on top of it being at Indiana, just kind of a welcome home thing. So it felt good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about like if Ball State being in Indiana, being your home state, if that played like a huge factor in you just going to that school besides like obviously the coaching staff.
Yeah, no, that was obviously probably the second biggest factor. I've been away in Boston for 4 years. So while my parents were able to make a lot of my games, my family kind of didn't get to, and we only came back and played at home one time, against Notre Dame. So and playing there, I was so comfortable and just, felt at home with all my family there. So it only felt right to come back home and, get to play in front of them one last year.
So kind of like taken away from your last season at Boston, what were like some, like now you have time to like reflect on the season. What are some things that you wish you like could have done better, or what were some things that, you did well that you like to carry on to Ball State's program?
I think to start, things I did well on, I think we really came together as a group, like down the stretch. And honestly, like we lost a lot of games this year, so it would have been easy for us to just pull away and have a whole bunch of chemistry issues. I mean, you know how all that stuff goes when you're losing, nobody's happy. But you couldn't tell like our record this year by, walking in the gym every single day. So I think we just, kept fighting each and every day and stayed close. That was the biggest takeaway from this year. We had a extremely close group of guys, and it made it easy, to go through the ups and downs and just be that much closer. Honestly, I wish I would have hit more shots. That game against Army, freaking went 1 for 6 from
I was
three.
going to ask you about that game. So how
Yeah,
tough,
man,
how tough was that? Losing in overtime, it's in the conference tournament.
Man,
Obviously, the goal was to make it to March. And just
yeah.
like, do you consider like this past season a failure in your eyes? Like, I know you grew individually as a player, but like as a team, like, is
That's
that something that really kind of bugs you a little bit?
obviously, it's as a competitor, like it's gonna bug the crap out of you. I still think about that shot Rucker hit, damn near every day. But it's funny because Giannis got asked that same question about seasons being failures and all that. I don't really know my take on it because I'm so competitive and I'm so result driven that it'd be easy for me to sit here and be like, yeah, that season was a failure. Well, we've had the most talent in the league for the past 3 years since I've been there, and we didn't win. We only got one ring, so you could say that all those seasons were failures. But essentially, man, we just kept growing. You always want to win a championship, but there's a lot of things you could take away from a season through the ups and downs, and I think we all learned how tough it is to stay consistent. And honestly, the most consistent team wins because everybody's trying to play their best basketball in March, especially those mid-major conferences where you got to win your tournament, to get into March Madness. So whoever's most consistent wins, and we were coming together, being consistent towards the end, but you just basketball doesn't work like that. I don't know if it's basketball gods or whatever, but whoever, you can't just turn it on at the end of the season and expect to win a championship. So
what was like something they did like against you guys that really gave you a lot of trouble, like in overtime, like because it was a close game. So hanging with them the whole time.
It's not even nothing that they really did that was different. Because like Army, you know what you're getting at them. Like they're gonna play tough as shit. They're gonna play fast. They're gonna try to win the transition game. They're gonna put up a lot of threes. And Rucker, he took like, as he should, don't get me wrong, but he took like 20-something shots. So it's just like, that was the problem. It's like stopping him, keeping the ball to his hands. And you just know they're trying to get him the ball. He's coming off of ball screens, passing it, coming off a down screen, getting the ball back. They're just trying to get him the ball, get him to score in any way he can. So I think we just should have honestly doubled him, maybe just force the ball.
What was your game plan against him kind of going into the game? Like, what was your plan originally?
We were playing him straight up, going over the ball screen. That was the adjustment we made because we played him, I think like 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before our second time in conference versus them at their place, and we won that game. We went under the ball screen, and he kind of not struggled, but he was just, you could tell he was thinking a little more. And this time we just said, forget it, go over each ball screen, and I think he got kind of comfortable, with that coverage. But Jonas defended the hell out of him the entire night. Like, even we still had a chance to win the game at the end. So it happens, man. He's a tough player to guard. The guy takes 20-something shots a game. He's gonna be hot enough to hit the game winner or hit the big shot, to tie the game or whatever. So
what was your initial reaction when the buzzer went off and obviously the scoreboard wasn't in your favor?
Damn, my time here is over. That's honestly the first thing I thought. Like, dang. I kind of knew that was gonna be my last time putting on that jersey. Taking it off after we lost that game, and I was just couldn't believe it was over, man. College goes like that.
So what do you take away from your 4 years from Boston? Like, what are some like key takeaways that you learned and you kind of grow as a player? Because 4 years is a long time for a player to kind of develop and see what their game can really be. So like, what were your key takeaways from those 4 years?
I'd say the two biggest takeaways would be just consistency and maintaining confidence. The consistency part, just that steady grind each year, knowing that you may not be seeing the playing time or the numbers and the stats that you want, but just know that you're progressing, and just staying consistent with the work. I battled injuries. My junior year I missed 10 games. My sophomore year I didn't get to play in the last game, the quarterfinal game against Colgate, because I had a shoulder injury. So just trying to maintain my body was the biggest thing for me. I learned, I can't, be showing up to practice 40 minutes, 30 minutes, before practice. I got to get there an hour, hour and a half before to get my body right. And then I can go shoot. And, just little stuff like that to maintain, my health throughout the season. And then the confidence part, just, like I said, the ups and downs of your own individual career. I still feel like I had a lot left in the tank at BU, that I didn't get to display necessarily, but I'd say my confidence just kept growing and growing each year.
Why do you think you couldn't display that?
I mean, we had a lot of guys. Like, we had a lot of talent. I play behind Javante, who's in the G League right now. Suk, who led the country in field goal percentage from 5 feet, and then Max Mahoney, who led us to the championship. So it's just, and then Walter White. We just had a lot of really talented guys. With a lot of skill and size too. So it makes sense to kind of tailor the offense, to them. And
with a guy being in like the G League, what'd you learn from him? Like, do you still talk to him? Like, kind of he's in that next level, and because he obviously knows what it takes to get there. So
right.
you're always trying to get there. I've heard you say you get to the league, and everyone who plays college basketball, wants to get there. So what has he kind of told you to keep your head up when you're not, shooting the ball as well as you want to? Because I mean, inconsistency, it happens. Like, not everyone has, an on night every single game. I mean, everyone has off nights time to time. So, like, what's like the biggest advice he's kind of given you?
Javante, he likes to read a lot. So he's given me a bunch of books to read. I can't remember off the top of my mind right now, but he's given me a lot of like thinking books to read in terms of like how to control your mind and how to direct your focus back. When we derail our focus, whether it's we're missing shots or something don't go our way in the game. So he's given me a lot of books to read, and going on top of that, just confidence. Like, that's the thing that he said has helped him the most in the G League. Like, that's one thing that they said about him his first couple games. Like, this guy is gonna come in, play the right way, but he's super, super confident. No matter if you miss 5 shots in a row, turn the ball over, whatever. Like, I think at that level, the biggest thing you got to have is confidence, because if you don't got that, then why are you out there? And people are gonna smell that, feed off of that too. So
yeah, exactly.
That's one thing he's preaching for sure. Like, have a bad game, put up some more shots the next game, stay in rhythm, just little stuff like that.
Yeah, just you got at the same time, like, you got to keep shooting. Like, even if you're missing, like, you can't like get discouraged. I mean, guys miss shots all the time. I mean,
we put so much work into this
most of the time. Like, you're gonna miss.
No doubt. And then watching these playoffs, like, these guys are struggling too. Like, so it's everybody goes through shooting slumps. Everybody goes through it. So
yeah, and there's so many games in those series too. Like, when you think about it, like, college is a little bit different because, like, you got one game, go out there and make a name for yourself. In the NBA, you got 4 possible games to kind of go out there and show what you can do.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. But what do you think you're going to bring into this Ball State program? I think you're obviously going to bring experience because you've been playing college basketball 4 years now. And I think you've got the confidence because it doesn't matter if you shoot 1 for 6 or 6 for 6 from 3. Like, you're going to keep shooting, and it doesn't matter. So, like, what do you think you're going to bring into this program leadership wise, since you do have that experience?
Yeah, I think I could just be a vocal presence. A guy that's been through almost everything that a college basketball season can offer. Just leading those guys, helping them through the ups and downs of the season. Because I've been there a lot, at BU, having championship teams that didn't end up getting to the championship, winning the championship. So just let them know that it's a long, long season, never getting too high, never getting too low. And just, it all comes down to who's the closest group, because everybody's got their own individual aspirations. But the closest group always wins in the end. So just trying to maintain, that chemistry, being an older guy, and then just bringing my toughness and my IQ on the court. I'm a combo guard who can obviously score the ball, but I also love passing. I love getting my guys involved. I love making sure everybody's comfortable around me. I love to play free. I think those are all things that Coach Lewis, preaches. I was on my visit talking to some of the guys, and they were like, yo, if you're being too robotic, he's going to say something to you. If you're out there thinking too much, looking at him, he's going to have a problem with that. So just being able to go out there and play free and just show my IQ. Like I said, I played a lot of games in college, so I know what to expect. Obviously it's a different level in the MAC, and I'm super excited to, play against these guards and these wings, and these teams overall in the MAC. But just my overall experience, kind of knowing the ins and outs of the college games, and, just everything that it can take you through mentally, throughout the season. So just helping them with that.
Is there anything else besides like IQ and that you want to showcase to these people in the MAC that, okay, like he's like the real deal when it comes to?
I mean, I'm gonna be a knockdown shooter. That's one thing. I think I've proven over the years in the Patriot League that, you can't leave me open. So I'm only, trying to improve my numbers. I think everybody's shooting for that 50, 40, 90. And I had that during a 5-6 game stretch at BU this season. I was shooting the ball pretty well, getting to the line and things like that. But yeah, just trying to prove that I'm a knockdown shooter. I'm ready to shoot it, catch it and shoot it from anywhere. If I can see the rim, I'm letting it go consistently, so.
Yeah, just having that consistent stroke. You're obviously going to be ready to shoot. If you're shooting, you're ready. That's a given.
No doubt.
Is there anybody particular that you're looking forward to playing with on this team?
I'm looking forward to playing with Boogie, Jerron Coleman. I don't know if people know about Boogie. What Ball State fans do.
Yeah, I was in the same high school. He was a little older than me, but
yeah, right. Oh yeah, that's right. You went to Cathedral, yeah. And then Davion Bailey. Those are two Indianapolis kids. I grew up with Boogie, and then Davion was actually on my first AAU team ever. So it's kind of like a full circle moment coming home and playing with him. But those are two big guards who can do almost anything on the basketball court. Handle the ball, make plays for others, shoot the ball, score the ball, defend because of their size. So I'm super excited to just get out there and get a feel for playing with them again. And, it shouldn't take long. We've, grown up together and played with each other for so many years. So I'm excited about that. And then Jalen, too. I haven't seen him play or anything like that, but we've been texting back and forth over the past couple of days, just getting to know each other a little bit. So, yeah.
That's exciting, dude.
Yeah,
It's definitely different from being at Boston to Ball State.
Yeah, I was just up there too. It's like the speed, like everything's just calm and cool and collected, whereas Boston is, fast paced. Everybody's moving and going crazy. But yeah, I was just up there shooting around. It felt like home, man. I'm excited.
So you're going home, but obviously leaving another place is obviously going to be a transition. What's the biggest thing you're going to miss about playing at Boston University?
The people. I think whenever you're at a place for that long and people treat you that well, you build connections and you form relationships that are gonna last forever. I literally was in tears giving my teammates hugs as I was leaving the door. Leaving my room. So just the people, man. People treated me really, really well there. I got a lot of lifelong relationships and networking, connections that I can use for my life after basketball. So that, and then obviously like the nightlife. It's a lot of stuff to do in Boston. Whereas
it's a big city.
Yeah, Muncie's a little more slower.
Yeah.
You gotta go around there to see what there's to do and everything. There's a couple good food spots. I know it's a good steak spot out there and a couple good breakfast spots. But yeah, it's nothing like Boston. Just there's always something to do. always something to get into. So yeah, but
I feel like that's good for you though, because if you're in a smaller city, you can just focus on hoops because you got nothing else to do.
yeah, I mean, I'm always focused on that. Don't get me wrong. That's always my main focus. But absolutely, being in Muncie, I mean, I have no choice but to go to the gym. On a Saturday night or Friday night, whatever. I have no choice. Ain't nothing to do. So yeah, I'm excited for that part too. Just having that access to the gym and we got our own practice facility, our own weight room and stuff like that. Just having more access to that type of stuff.
So I saw you were I saw this on your story. You were like training with some guy. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but like, can you like tell me about like how that's been going? It's like he's got like a little turf thing like
Yeah,
inside.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that's actually at the factory in Speedway. That's the Teague family. That's their gym. And they
Okay, nice.
got a great setup in there. They got a great facilities, great gym area to work out. They got a huge basketball court with I think like what 12 hoops or something like that. So it's anything you need in there, like 5 guns. I literally go and I work out with Steph. That's Steven Serta. That's my trainer. And I work out with him and then I go right on the court. So it's easy in there, man. I've been working out with them for about 2 years now. And my first summer, I went home after my sophomore year, and Coach Jones was like, you need to put on 10 pounds. So I got in contact with Coach Teague, and he put me in contact with Steph, and he changed my whole body, man. Got me feeling right going into my junior year. So after that, I was like, yo, we're locked in every summer.
What has he got you prioritizing this summer?
Legs and arms. Trying to get my upper body back right. It's so hard to maintain that muscle because we're doing so much, and you got to eat 4 or 5 meals a day, and just staying consistent with that. That's another piece that I learned over the years that I didn't mention. My diet, but just getting my upper body back, as strong as it was in the off season, and then keeping my ankles, strong and healthy, and mobile. You know what I'm saying? I've twisted and turned my ankle so many times, I almost needed surgery. So this is my first full season playing with no ankle injuries, thank God. So I'm trying to keep that trending in the right direction.
Ankle injuries are they're so tough. Like even like just a normal like ankle sprain. Like I feel like just an ankle sprain is like the worst ankle injury you could possibly have. Even though you didn't break it, it takes so long to come back from.
Some sprains, like you honestly rather just break it, get the surgery, and like just start the healing process because like sprains, bro, like they like I mean I was
suck.
I sprained my left ankle and then I sprained my right ankle back to back my junior year. And then I sprained it again. I sprained my right ankle again in the summer, junior summer, and I almost needed surgery, bro, and ended up not having to, but the recovery process was so long, like I mean, even after your ankle's like not swollen anymore, and you could walk, people think you can run, but it's like, nah, I can't turn my ankle. Like
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot. It's so many steps to that process that people don't even understand because everybody thinks as soon as you start walking, like you're good. But
because I know Steph Curry, he does like a lot of like balance workouts like for his like ankles. Are you doing anything like kind of like that?
Yeah, that's literally all it is. That's like the strength and mobility part of it. So I'll get on one of those training balls. I don't even know how to explain it, but
it's like on the floor, and it's not like the whole. It's not like completely like it's not like a huge ball, but like it's like kind of like a half ball thing.
Balance,
yeah,
like a balance ball, balance test or whatever. But yeah, I do like tennis ball catches on those, left, right, behind my head, just all different type of ways to catch the ball. And honestly, that all plays into, my core strength too. So, we do a lot of core strengthening exercises.
And hand-eye coordination too. I mean, that's good for your coordination as well. Just keeping it tight.
Well, so I'm trying to make this year 2, man, of no ankle issues. Knock on wood.
I can relate because I remember when I played, I always had like ankle problems. Like I had to wear like the big ankle braces that Steph used to wear because
I wore those all year. They told me, Walt, Anthony, he ended up spraining his ankle a little bit. So they they told us three, like, yo, y'all can't do anything basketball related without having those braces on. Y'all gotta be here at a certain time to stretch. Like, we got like 15 minutes just for ankle mobility. I'm already in the gym, stressed and sweating, and I gotta go do ankle mobility. They're like, yo, we are making sure you guys are doing this. We don't need no more problems. Thankfully, they let us play in Nikes this year. We had to cover the sign and everything, but just they were doing so many things to make our feet comfortable, man, and it helped because like I said, I was injury free down there. So
What was their like brand? Was it Adidas for Boston?
Under Armour.
Under Armour? Oh, okay. Under Armour. What's
Yeah.
like the difference between like Under Armour and Nike, like just like ankle like wise?
I think it all depends on your foot and like comfort wise. I'm a Nike baby, so like I grew up wearing Nike, so I think my foot is just naturally more comfortable in Nikes. But I played in Under Armour's practically my whole high school career and then my whole college career at BU. So my foot, like I was used to Under Armour's, bro, but I just rather play in Nikes. Like there's nothing wrong with the brand, nothing wrong with the shoes. The shoes look nice. The Stephen Curry's, he put like a weird like traction on the bottom of his shoe. And it's like
It's
so
like more like
grip
low
that-
top too, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, low top, people think that, but honestly, if your ankles are strong, like low top, high top doesn't really matter. But I feel like so Steph put like a grip on the bottom of his shoe that's like has so much grip that you're like liable to turn your ankle every time you run or you trip and fall like it. So I stopped wearing those. And it's just like little stuff like that. Like that's a great basketball shoe. It looks nice, but the grip is like, messed up. So it just depends on your comfort level.
Yeah, it's crazy like how big of a deal like shoes like obviously you got to wear like sneakers to play, so like just like it's whatever works for you, like because people wear inserts too because like their heels hurt. Like I remember I used to wear that too because you get inflammation in your heels, like it would just hurt so bad like you wouldn't be able to walk like that.
And see, like if you like I have my own soles, and most guys do honestly, because you get your one sole that fits nice on your foot, and then you just put that in each and every shoe that you have. So it's like I could have that sole and feel as comfortable as I do in Nikes and an Under Armour shoe because it's that sole that is molded my foot. So it honestly depends on that. Like if you got your soles and you can switch them out, then you're fine, pretty much.
Yeah, because when you were playing in the EYBL, you guys had all kinds of Nike gear and stuff, so like you were used to it.
EYBL, they take care of us, but I mean, like I just grew up wearing Nike, so wearing Nikes and EYBL was just like a bonus, and I still got so many of those shoes to wear this season. Finally, I haven't been able to wear those shoes, so I'm gonna be like I have so many kicks. I ain't even gonna say nothing about the kicks, but just know I got a lot of kicks. Got a lot of kicks that I'm gonna be showcasing this next year.
I would ask you like how many kicks you have like in your like entire collection, but I'm sure like it's probably a big number.
Yeah, bro. I used to be super, super obsessed with like Jordans and all of that when I was in middle school. So I had a phase where I was getting like every pair that dropped and, begging my parents to get me those Jordans. Now I'm cooled off more like a Vans type guy, just quick, comfortable Nikes, but I still have all those shoes because I've been a size 13 since I was 8th, 9th grade. So I still got all those shoes since I was younger. So trust me, I got.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm like one size bigger than you. That's insane.
I got some heat.
I mean, I feel every basketball player has got a bunch of kicks. Like I remember I used to have like the D Wade Jordans like back in like 6th grade, like before he signed with Ling Ning and the Chinese brand.
That's the thing. Like we all grew up playing on circuits and AAU teams. Like they've given us so many shoes. So it's like I'm sorting through my closet to try to find the most exclusive ones that I can, be like, damn, I know he don't got those, but because everybody got so many kicks, man. Like I was planning on bringing some kicks, and I went to my locker room and seen that one of my teammates already had them. I was like, damn, I can't flex like that because he already got them. I thought I was the only one with him. So I got some searching to do in that closet, man. I'm gonna bring out some heat for sure.
What's like your favorite shoe that you're like looking forward to bring out when you're at Ball State?
Let's see. Should I tell him? the Hirachis. I got some USA Hirachis, 2K4s that I don't think anybody. I mean, I haven't seen anybody just like start hooping in like that consistently. So I had a bet from one of my teammates from Boston. He was like, "I want you to wear that your first game." So I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm excited to play in those and just any Kobe, because Kobe's the most comfortable basketball shot. I think
Is it
most
really?
basketball, yeah. I think most hoopers are gonna tell you that Kobe's is the most comfortable basketball shoe to hoop in. For me, it's that, and then it's Paul George, and then it's KD. So I'm excited, man, just to be hooping in Nikes again. Honestly, like
I'm super excited because like Ball State is like the MAC. Like, who are you looking like? Which like point guard in general are you looking forward to like matching up against in that conference?
um, honestly, bro, I haven't even like dug into like all of that shit. Like, start looking at everybody's team and everything. I've been honestly so focused on graduating, like trying to get out of Boston,
Yeah.
a degree, and then getting down here. So now I'll watch some film and stuff, and then if we talk again, I'll let you know. But I'm mostly just excited to just play against the level of competition. I was talking to Coach Lewis, and he was saying the guards and the wings and the MAC can go play anywhere in the country. Only real difference from high majors, the big size. High major bigs are 7 foot, 6'10", 6'11", and the MACs are a little smaller. But the guards and the wings, man, that it's right up there with any other conference. So I'm excited to just play against that every night.
Are you like so like I know like a lot of guards like when they're like going to the basket like trying to worry about like you obviously you're quick enough to go past like your primary defender, but when you're going to the basket, like are you working on like a bunch of floaters and stuff to like just get it high up, like
Yeah,
just
I
get
mean,
shot on these 7-footers because these guys are going to be bigger. Up
yeah,
and
no doubt, no doubt. I mean that's all just like I've had like I used the floater so much in high school. Like I got to my midi a lot in high school. Found a bunch of like I got comfortable around finishing around bigs in high school. So and I didn't do that as much in college just because, spots and situations. So that's just like a mindset thing for me. Like if I start thinking about getting to my floater more and putting the ball high off the rim more, that'll come easy. So just repping that out a bunch. Cause obviously bigs in the Patriot League were 6'8", 6'7". So it'll definitely be an adjustment, but that's something I already got. It's just put my mind to it.
Do you think that's the biggest adjustment going into that is just the size of the bigs?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, and that's what you want too. I like throwing lobs. I like having fun with it. So just athleticism and the speed and the size. Yeah, I mean, and that's not just the bigs. That's everybody in the match.
So like I know it's very, very early. Like so like how have you guys like practiced at all like together as a team
No,
yet or
we don't start workouts until June 5th. So
okay, so you got a little bit of time before that.
we
So
gonna have.
is that like mandatory or is that like kind of an optional thing for the team?
Yeah, no, we're going. We're back in action. I think they got like 2 weeks. I was in Boston. That's why I'm saying I don't know what they had, but I think they got like 2 weeks at home. And then everybody, be back June 5th, except for our freshman. He's on the Indiana All-Star team, so he's got that week, and then he'll be with us soon after that. So, but yeah, no, we're getting after it. We're getting after it.
What's like something you're looking forward to the most this upcoming season?
Just playing in front of that crowd. We got good crowds at Boston. It's a hockey school, so the more you win, the more people would have came out. But after winning that championship, we lost all our momentum with COVID, so it was kind of hard to rebuild that momentum and that energy around campus for the basketball team. So I'm just excited to go into a place where basketball really, really matters. People take
Yeah.
it very, very seriously. The state of Indiana,
Yeah, being home.
yeah,
That's
being at home, playing in front of those crowds, to feel a lot like it was in high school, and something I'm used to, something I love. I love playing in front of big crowds and playing in an arena. So I'm just looking forward to that.
I wanted to ask you this earlier. So what was like your there's probably so many moments from your 4 years at Boston that you could like say were your favorite moment, but like if you had to pick one, like what was your favorite number one?
Beating South Carolina at South Carolina, and specifically like the 5 minute mark in the second half, it was dead silent in there. It was dead silent. Like nobody, and they were barking at us the whole game. People courtside, like you know how that is. Mid-major versus a high major, non-conference game. Everybody's thinking you're supposed to get smacked, but we ended up winning that game by I think like 9 or 11 or something like that. So it was just dead silent in there, man. We knew we were winning that game. We shot the ball way too well, shoot around, shot the ball way too well, throughout the game. Just had a really, really good night collectively. So, and that was my first, non-conference, big game on the road as a college basketball player. So that's something I'll never forget.
What year was that for you?
All of that. So
what year was that for you?
That was my freshman year.
That was your freshman year. Oh, okay.
I came in, had a quick 8 off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I was getting to the first half.
That's good to get that experience early though, because then it kind of builds your confidence up for later on.
Yeah, no doubt.
So individually, what are you? I'm not sure if you like have like a points per game average you want to get to, or like I'm sure you don't look at the stat sheet probably. I mean,
it's not like looking at the stat sheet and trying to measure myself up against a certain like number, but it's just what I know I can do. I could easily average double figures a game. And I'm just excited to be in a situation that better suits my full abilities as a basketball player. Whether that leads to 10 more points per game or 5. I'm just excited to be in a new situation where I could just play basketball, man. I'm not expecting no certain amount of playing time, no certain amount of shots. All that stuff's earned, whether you're a post-grad, a senior, freshman, number one in the country, whatever. You got to earn all that shit, no matter where you go. So I'm just excited to go somewhere I could just play free. And I can take
play in your game.
Yeah, I can take care of the rest, man. Just let me go out there, be me, and I could produce.
Would you say you weren't able to play free when you were in Boston?
Not that I wasn't able to play free. It was just a different system. Each coach has their own philosophy, their own way they want to play. And I would say it was a different way that I was used to playing, and I had to adapt in ways that I never thought I'd have to adapt. But overall, it made me better. That's life, bro. Like you go into a situation thinking it's going to be one thing and it's not. You got to learn how to, fight through it, keep your head up, stay confident, and, better yourself from it. So ultimately, that's what I think I did. It made me a better basketball player. I was on the ball a lot in high school. So being off the ball as much as I was in college, it helped me see the game through a different lens. And, I was able to pick my spots more. It trained me to be always ready to catch and shoot, just because you're not getting a lot of shots because I'm playing with guys who are averaging 16, 17, multiple guys on the team. So you got to be ready to shoot, when your time comes and just staying ready. So, yeah.
I also wanted to ask you this too. So like since like the Final Four this year, like there were a lot of smaller schools like in the Final Four. And like I was thinking about like the transfer portal was like so big into that, like actually like being able to become a reality. So like how do you think like the transfer portal is going to change college basketball in the future?
I don't even think it's the transfer portal. I think it's the NIL. Like that's what's changing college basketball. Like kids now have so much power. Like if you're good enough or if you got X amount of followers on Instagram, honestly, you don't even got to be good enough. Like there's a lot of people who shouldn't be getting paid what they are just because they have X amount of followers. So if you have the right amount of following, like you're able to get money from this school. If you don't like that money, then you can go to another school. It's not the portal, bro. It's the NIL, and it's good and bad. And I think it's whether.
What's the bad part about it?
I mean there's nothing like bad about compensating a college athlete for the time and like everything that we give to a school. There's nothing bad about it. I think we just, instead of sitting around talking about if it's good or bad, we should just focus on like how to navigate through it. And I think the portal is getting, a little rough because of it. You got people sitting in the portal looking for a big name school because they know that there's a check that comes with that big name school, and missing out on schools that actually want them and actually, value what they can bring to the table. So a lot of kids are just getting left out, but it's all new. So I don't think you can say anything's bad right now because it's so new. It's only like the second year of it.
It's like second year. It's so
Yeah,
new.
so
Obviously, it's going to be tweaked
Yeah.
over time. Like it's going to be changed.
it's like the transporter process was
Yeah, that's so new too. That's like 2 years old too.
Exactly.
That just started. Do you have any NIL deals at the current moment?
Not right now. Not at B. They didn't really offer them like that at BU, but at Ball State they do. So I got to tap in with that stuff, get with our marketing people, and see what opportunities I have. But you don't get any of that stuff if you're not producing, if you're not winning. So like that's my main focus, just coming in ready to work. So all the stuff that comes with it, and if it doesn't, like I'm just focused on the work.
Yeah, just focus on the grind. That's all it's about. You're there to hoop at the end of the day, and hopefully this leads to get into the NBA, because I know you've said that before. You want to get to the NBA.
That's the end goal. That's always the end goal, man.
What do you think you're going to have to do this year to make yourself known that you play at that level, that you're going to be there?
I mean, I know I got to average double figures all year, have good numbers, split shooting the ball, and then my assist to turnover ratio. I'm small, so obviously people aren't going to be expecting me to come and get paid to score 25 points a game. It's going to be, how good of a decision maker is he? How well can he lead a team? So a lot of what will help me has to do with what our team does, and me being a point guard, that's like the best feeling. I can control all of that. So I think just winning and showing that I'm a smart guy who can knock down shots and lead a team.
Is it tough not winning all those 4 years and then trying to go to another place and just try to win, even though you want to win, but you don't know necessarily how to yet?
Why I know how to win because we won my freshman year, so I know what it takes. But it's tough to get back, and it's tough whenever you lose. And if you're a competitor, you never like to lose. If you know that you can win, and you have the team that could do it, and you lose, it's a little tougher. So that aspect has been tough, just because we had so many guys in the gym that should have 2 to 3 rings on their fingers, at least 2, and that just didn't happen. But I don't really think there's any pressure. My high school coach always said pressure was a privilege. So if anything, I'm fortunate to be in a situation where I could go to another school and another opportunity and have another real chance to win a championship. I didn't want to go anywhere and sit at the bottom of the conference and struggle all year. So I feel like I came to the right spot, and we'll have a good chance to do what we want to do in March.
Is there anything else you would want to say before I close this out? It's always good talking to you, dude.
No, I'm good. I appreciate the opportunity again, bro. It's like you said, it's good talking to you too. And anytime we can get back at it. I'm always down to chop it up with you.
I want to get it in person. I need to get it in person at least once.
For sure. For sure.
All right, man. This has been Ethan Watts, now Ball State point guard, not Boston. That's great news. I'm super excited to see what you do this next season. You're embarking on a new journey, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on the podcast once again.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
But this has been another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course. And you guys have a good one. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Red wave paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart up on ice.